They say it started like a wildfire. It's kind of funny that you had me written off dead. Now we're coming for the empire. So now you love me, but you ain't seen nothing yet. Go tell and watch me, keep your eyes on me. I caught you sleeping before, now I'm in your head. You can't close it, the doors are open. Nah, you ain't seen nothing yet. They say it's starting like a wildfire. I feel it spreading in a new wave right now. Change the game, build an empire. If you're ready, we can spark it up. We can spark this right now.
I hear the roar of the wildfire. It makes me wanna aim higher. We have to take control. I'm always chasing the path I'm facing. Ignites the fighter. Time to take what's yours. Stand and watch us. Keep your eyes on us. Always leaving our mark. Living in your head. Can't contain us. There's no escaping. Now you ain't seen nothing yet. They say it's starting like a wildfire. I feel it spreading in a new wave right now. Change the game, build an empire. If you're ready, we can spark it up. We can spark this right now.
We're just getting started. Fire in the blood, but we're still cold-hearted. Eyes on the prize. Do what we gotta do to secure our rise. Like pioneers with no fear. Never back down, this our frontier. Ash on the path, don't get too near. Blazing a trail, never adhere. Yeah, the road we chose is only built for the pros. And we can walk through the highs and the lows. Lunges and throws, got the crown, never letting it go. Royalty, you ain't getting the throne. Leaders of a new empire. Clawed our way up from the muck and the mire. Nothing will take from us all these desires. We're at the summit, we're still going higher. We are the crucible, we are the fire.
Like a wildfire. I feel it spreading in a new wave right now. Change the game, build an empire. If you're ready, we can spark it up. We can spark. They say it's starting like a wildfire. I feel it spreading in a new wave right now. Change the game, build an empire. If you're ready, we can spark it up. We can spark this right now.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Welcome back to the LEC stage in Berlin, Germany. It's been a long time since we've been together, and we miss you. But I'm ecstatic to introduce to you the new year after one of the craziest off seasons ever. 25 players have changed on the starting rosters. One brand new organization has joined the LEC. Players have left us, but legends have returned. It's time to kickstart the greatest league in the world. It's time to ignite the League of Legends European Championship.
Hello and welcome to the Spring Split of the LEC 2022. I'm here in studio, I'm Drakos. Casting from home is my boy Caedrel. Caedrel, it's so incredibly good to have you back, or at least like 50% of the way back. We're getting there one day at a time.
Yeah,
So
we'll get there one day. I'm at home, I'm quarantined, but still, I'm so excited to cast. I'm so excited to be back for another year.
I mean, it's hard not to be. It feels like we have an entirely new league almost with the amount of roster swaps that have been coming through. You heard the desk talk about it all the way up in our special 1-hour edition of Ready Check. But now we get to focus in on our first match of the day, MAD versus Vitality. What is jumping out to you immediately, Caedrel? Is it the meta? Is it the players? What's on your mind?
I don't know, the biggest storyline is Carzzy versus his old team, right? Unforgiven's up against him, Carzzy's against his boy Kaiser, but Carzzy's back with Labrov, who's almost like his ex-support from Big, so they're reunited. There's a little bit of drama in the bot lane, I think.
I was gonna say, there's like, we've got this like scorned lovers kind of storyline that we're really trying to push on this one. We're gonna see exactly how it pans out. And additionally, I'm excited to see what the rookies on MAD Lions can do. Now, I think it's probably unfair to assume that they're gonna come out swinging against players like Carzzy and players like Perkz, but Unforgiven is a relative unknown. A little bit of experience in the Prime League, but not an EU Masters player. Very rare to see someone kind of come up without that EU Masters experience. Mac has a lot of faith in him. And similarly, Reeker is a guy that I know a lot of teams wanted. We talked about it on Euphoria and Time to See. This is certainly trial by fire, keeping in with our wildfire theme, to see what he can do. Because your first game against Perkz, like, that's a lot of pressure.
That is a lot of pressure, but MAD Lions have never let us down when it comes to talent scouting. The latest one we can think of is Elyoya, who also didn't do very well in EU Masters, but he's still one of the best junglers of 2021. So let's see how these rookies do up on the main stage. But like you said, they're up against powerhouse players for a debut.
Absolutely. Into it, MAD Lions, of course, on the blue side, Team Vitality on the red. You heard it on the desk, and if you've been watching League internationally, or regionally as the LFL and the Prime League have already started, a lot is the same in terms of what we're going to see compared to Worlds. Of course, there are new rifts, there's the new champions, there's some new items, but generally the meta remaining about the same. LeBlanc ban coming out. We might also see TF hit the bench, but Caedrel, what do you have your eye on?
Yeah, Lee Sin, Renekton, TF probably going to be banned away. We've seen a little bit of X Prio and then AD carries, right? Aphelios, Caitlyn, Jinx are the notorious AD carry picks. Those are just trade-offs, right? If one team bans away one of the AD carries, all of a sudden there's two, so you can kind of choose and pick if you want to ban one away to take the other. Jhin, of course, standing out a lot. The LPL really seems to love Jhin, Leona, 1-2 when Aphelios is first pick, things like this. And also Jarvan is a very powerful jungler right now, but you have to be very careful around the Thresh pick. So if they pick Aphelios first pick, you can't just 1-2 Jarvan. It's very common to go Xin Zhao, and just make sure you see their support, see the Thresh is not available before you can pick Jarvan, but I'm expecting some kind of Lee Sin, Xin Zhao.
And it would be interesting to see, but of course they are going to opt to ban the Lee Sin away. Still feels like overall the premier jungle option in terms of flexibility and what he can bring to the table. But that is the Jinx ban coming out now. Maybe we see it matched by an Aphelios ban on the opposite side. That said, the jungle is naturally the most interesting place to me right now, Caedrel. Short of huge laning discrepancies, I want to see how Elyoya and Selfmade are going to approach this jungle meta. If they're just going to handshake on the boring stuff, on the J4s, you know, on the Xin Zhaos, or if we're going to see something a little bit different. Selfmade has been a carry jungle player and could be, but there's a lot of carries on this roster, so have to see who's going to take that mantle.
Yeah, the difficulty you have in the meta right now is AP mid laners, mages are very common, which means you need to pair it up with an AD jungler most of the time. Unless you play something like TF Rise with a Nidalee with setup, it's mostly AD junglers that will facilitate their mid. So early rotating jungle is quite important, especially if Lee Sin's banned. Things like first pick Xin Zhao will come, Thresh ban coming in, means Vitality probably want to 1-2 a Jarvan here, so MAD Lions need to be careful about that. And of course, when the Jarvan's picked, maybe MAD Lions want to hide their AD carry for a bit and go for an Ezreal now instead of an Aphelios, because they can't have that security with the Thresh. So that kind of makes the draft an awkward spot, but Renekton is up. Now, Renekton in the LPL and the LCK is practically permabanned. I think it got through 1 or 2 games so far, but there it is, insta-locked for Armut.
Yeah, hands down the most popular top laner right now. Still a solid source of gank setup. Works so well with a lot of the AP jungle options that are floating around outside of course, those AD options that we talked about earlier. But now certainly some options on the side of Team Vitality. They could take the J4 and additionally could look to pick up the Aphelios themselves. Instead, it's going to be a quick Viego pickup here. Still a solid jungler. A little bit weaker, I think, overall than when we saw him at Worlds, but definitely a threat to be reckoned with.
Interesting Viego pick there. Gwen has been picked quite often into Renekton into that melee matchup. Maybe we'll see some kind of Jace. We're seeing a lot of Graves top as well in the LCK. teams just like to blind pick Graves top. I think Nongshim was doing it, and the notorious counter in the LCK to Graves top is Tryndamere top. I've seen Exhaust Ghost Graves tops versus Ghost Tryndameres, so we'll see if we get that kind of spice up in the top lane. But Renekton picked up, Jhin picked up now for Vitality. Probably want to save their support till third pick. Does Mad Lions want to go full bot lane here or pick up a jungle?
And I just generally like seeing the Jhin. Obviously can be a champion that if he gets a lead can snowball, but that is spicy. Okay, all right. Gloves are off. I'm just saying right now, if you want to flex in your first game as a rookie mid laner, Yasuo Diana is certainly a way to do it. Because you heard it on the desk from Trouble. This is a boring mid lane meta. Most people are picking control mages, chilling, and looking to support any other lane. That is not the case when you lock in the Yasuo.
Yeah, and the thing is, AP junglers aren't common unless Renekton is open. We see this in other regions as well. Nidalee all of a sudden becomes available when Renekton's up. Diana got buffed now in the preseason. She's quite strong, a lot more damage. And through her clear, I think she got 50% extra damage on monsters on her passive or something along those lines. So her clear is better. Diana, incredibly good burst mage, needs some kind of setup. What better setup than a Renekton Yasuo? I mean, it's just such a perfect top side in terms of hybrid damage, and Alphari gonna round out top with a Kennen, which should get push in top, has great team fight, but still, this top side of Mad Lions is extremely explosive.
Absolutely is, but a lot of pressure on them to execute now on these picks. Alphari getting the Kennen, having that range advantage up against the Renekton. Can Alphari retain that status of a laning god? He held it in the LCS, he held it domestically in the LEC before OG's untimely collapse. Can he do the same against Armut, a player who last season was definitely not the strongest in terms of individual laning? Because if you do make mistakes against that Renekton, if the setup stun is there, it's going to be hard to recover on the pick like Kennen.
Definitely is, and both supports haven't picked their champions yet, and Unforgiven hasn't picked his AD carry. I wonder if he's going to go for something like Ziggs. You could pick it like a normal basic AD carry here, like Aphelios is open, great, this champ's extremely strong, but maybe you want to pivot, go for Ziggs, have a little bit more wave clear in this triple kind of melee comp, which is so explosive and diving the backline, would help facilitate a lot of the wombo combo and give you a little bit extra AP so the late game scaling isn't as bad. We'll see if they opt into that, because Leona Rakan taken away, set off the board, Thresh is out, that leaves open things like Nautilus, unless you want to go for a range support champions, and Vex taken off away from Perkz. I wonder what he's going to pick mid into the Yasuo.
And I love the Vex band. Vex, her passive, insane interaction to Yasuo. Every time you use that E as Yasuo, you mark yourself. Her next auto does more damage, and hilariously will also go through Wind Wall. So very important band to come out there now. Woo! Okay, Akshan coming in. I like it. We got spice on both sides, Caedrel. I'm ready to see what this champion can do.
Perkz has been playing a lot of Akshan in solo queue, so I think this is one of his favorite champions right now. Very brand new champion next to Vex in the 2022 season. We got Diana, which is strong now, paired with Renekton Yasuo. We got again a Nautilus, we got Akshan, we got Kennen. We've got so much skirmish champions on both sides.
It's going to be very bloody in the early game, Caedrel, and frankly, I'm here for it. Kaiser on the Nautilus, massive playmaker, but a big question to be answered here is, what does Unforgiven go for?
Oh, he's got the city carry!
2-1. 2021, this champion was played 3 times by Unforgiven. He was 2-1. You called the Ziggs, you predicted the standard AP bot laner. Well, we've got something a little bit more spicy, because why couldn't this draft keep delivering? And you talk about skirmishes. What helps skirmishes more than a champion who can just global death laser the entire enemy team?
Oh, I'm so happy the LEC is back. These are the kind of drafts I want to see. We haven't seen, I don't think I've ever seen any Akshan yet in the LPL and the LCK. I could be wrong, but I've been following the region so much since the start, but I haven't seen it. Karthus AD carry, Yasuo, Diana. I thought the teams would come out stock standard and just practice what's been going on in scrims, but no, the creativity is here. I think both teams have probably got what they wanted out of the draft. Mad Lions seems incredibly confident with this Karthus pick, with their top side picks, but let's talk about the comps, right? Mad Lions, full dive. If you dive on their carry, which is a Karthus, great. He's happy he's going to die because he can help the dive with his ult. So Mad Lions, stopwatch is their biggest counter, right? They need to make sure they track stopwatches very well, and when they use all this gas they have in the tank, that they actually manage to find a pick or at least find some kind of wombo combo. Vitality, really, really good teamfight match as well. Jhin is very hard to get on because he's going to be in the backline. Akshan is going to be a little bit stealthy and dashing around alongside Kennen, who wants to find flanks. And Alistar is probably going to be trying to find engages. Selfmade getting a reset will be crucial in these fights.
Absolutely agree, and on top of that, you have to consider the Viego potential for resets against a team comp with so many strong bruiser-esque champions, the Diana, the Renekton, the Yasuo. Have to see how it's going to work out. A lot of new picks on the Rift, a lot of new players on the Rift, some returning favorites, some new names as well. And this game's going to be big, a big tone setter for both of these lineups. MAD Lions are going to be playing catch-up, trying to develop their rookies' vitality. Can they hit the ground running? A lot of things that we're going to have to keep our eye on here as we get prepared for our first game of the day.
Yeah, I think. Here we go, into game.
Ladies and gentlemen and everybody else, welcome back to Summoner's Rift for some European League of Legends. It has been far too long. It is time for MAD Lions and Vitality. If you are, for whatever reason, just joining us, Vitality, potential new super team. MAD Lions putting their faith in some new rookies who are playing things like a Yasuo Diana combo and a Karthus bot lane. Caedrel, it's a cornucopia of things to talk about. Take us where your heart is going to lead you.
Oh my lord, I've been seeing control mages mid matchups with both TP, wanting first strike, farming a little bit, not trading too hard. And on my screen right now, I've got an Ignite Yasuo versus an Ignite Akshan, PTA versus Lethal Tempo. Mid lane is absolutely Armageddon right now. I think both junglers will want to path towards there. Any bot lane with Prio, the support's instantly going to want to move towards mid. And I think solo lane is the aim of the game. What a way for Alphari and Perkz to come back to the LEC after having been in an A for a year, and now they're in incredibly explosive solo lane matchups.
Certainly. Big opportunity again. And I think the big pressure on them is that they are the expected favorites. Overall, when it comes to individual skill, they certainly have the pedigree to back it up as well. So have to see how they match. Big pace setter for Armut as well, a guy who has been looked down on a little bit for his laning phase struggles, but can prove everybody wrong here with a good matchup against Alphari. That said, Reeker, this isn't really a player thing and certainly more a matchup thing, but the range difference here is going to make that lane phase a little bit miserable for the first few levels.
Yeah, I think Vitality solo lane's definitely favored in the early game. Range advantage into melee. You can see the damage Perkz can put out level 1 with this passive from Akshan. Alphari will be able to do the same with the Cull start. Both melee matchups will have to give up the push. Elyoya is going to path bot. I wonder if MAD Lions can get some kind of bot push, but no, it looks like Vitality have to push in bot, so 3 pushing lanes for Selfmade to work with. It's going to be a bit tricky for Elyoya to find his way into the river.
Yep, interesting enough. Additionally, Kaiser, you can see taking Glacial Augment, new and improved for supports. If you find that immobilizing effect, you do get those Frost Rays. So something you're going to see more and more in place of Aftershock, depending on the matchup. But in the meantime, top lane, as expected, we saw it in the mid lane already, but the push going in favor of Alphari, and early pressure means Selfmade going to have pretty good access on the top side of the map. Good news is with the top to bot pathing that you highlighted earlier, there are no camps for him to take on MAD Lions' side.
Every time the camera pans on either of these solo lanes, the trade looks so rough. Perkz might be going for a dive. He fancied it for a second there. Selfmade's around. Reeker will level up to 3. I wonder if he'll take the wind wall. Yes, he will, so we'll be safe for now. Selfmade just trying to spot out Elyoya, so these pushing lanes can keep their push.
You can see Reeker healing up, but he has used his pot. Perkz not going to use his pot as well. A little bit of gank support could go a long way in this mid lane, but in the meantime, Perkz is going to continue to come out on top. 8 CS lead already at this point in the game, and confident Cole from Alphari. So solo lane dominance is the name of the game, but plenty of setup on the side of MAD Lions if they can get Elyoya into one of these lanes.
Yeah, and Selfmade ran into the top side, popped a ward, so they should know Elyoya's down towards the bot side. MAD Lions are going to push that in, secure the crab for him, and maybe move towards mid. If you keep track of Kaiser and Elyoya, they might look for some kind of mid gank here. Perkz might have to be careful.
Perkz very, very far forward. Obviously has the stealth as well as the little hook shot. See if it can't take him out to safety, but the flash forward immediately locking him down all too easy, and that's going to be first blood for Reeker coming through.
Welcome back to Europe, Perkz. Kaiser and Elyoya make it happen. The two almost like veterans of MAD Lions now alongside Armut, the remaining players from the back-to-back championships. We knew they were one of the best jungle supports in the league, and we're seeing it right here. Reeker struggling in his lane. They move towards mid. Perkz tried to use his E to dodge away from Kaiser's flash hook, but he got cancelled midair. Maybe if he flashed that hook, there would just be a trade-off, but that is not the case. First blood for Reeker in his debut game in the LEC and for MAD Lions.
And massive means he can go back on boots too, a nice little item to have in the early game. And we take a look back at the replay here, clean combos coming in.
Yeah, really clean combos. They managed to take the kill, and great play overall from MAD Lions as Unforgiven and Kaiser have stayed in this lane. Maybe they can find Labrov here.
And now, thinking back on that replay, perhaps we've glanced deep
We've
into the future. I'm just trying to play out. Look, Twitch chat, all of us together. We've gained the ability of prophets. We can see the future. Who could have possibly imagined that a Diana and Yasuo will work together? It's an oopsie, folks. We're getting back into the swing of things. Just like Perkz went down in what we could call an oopsie, perhaps we showed the wrong replay. In the meantime, bot lane, they're farming. Why are they doing it? They love money. They're having a great time. Unforgiven versus Carzzy. Narrative. Narrative save us.
We're off to a great start. I wonder what will happen when Elyoya and Reeker hit 6. Ooh, Kaiser hits a hook onto Labrov. No ignite though. That has been burned earlier on. And it looks like that will be that. It looks like Selfmade's on the Drake right now. Level 4 will be able to secure this pretty easily. Labrov and Carzzy just hovering around in case Elyoya tries to contest.
And certainly don't expect to see a lot of kill pressure on the bottom side from Vitality. Without support from Selfmade, they opted for the heal and the exhaust. Much more defensive summoners than Unforgiven and Kaiser's exhaust and ignite. Keeping our eye on mid lane though, because I think we all have a sneaky suspicion that something might happen around level 6.
Just force jumping, waiting for it to happen. Elyoya is 6 and he's going to come from the top side, you expect. Selfmade's going to grab this crab. And I mean, all the action will happen mid, and it has to happen mid, right? When you're playing double ignite lane. Selfmade is hovering around mid, but he's probably going to go towards his Raptors after this. So Elyoya, Drakos, I have a sneaking suspicion Elyoya might find the window right here to get Perkz. He's spotted
you are
out
Analyst of the Year, Caedrel from 2021, so I think you would know that.
Oh,
Wow.
no.
Elyoya, could he ult flash? Oh, there it is! The perfect prediction! Wow, geniuses. Perkz goes
How
down,
did you know
sadly.
he would...
It's a little anticlimactic because we used our prophetic vision, us Twitch chat and YouTube chat, to see
it's on
coming.
cooldown now. We can't use it again. It's on a 1 week cooldown. You can only use it once per ADC week, I heard. Yeah, it's on cooldown now. So no more looking into the future. Reeker is 2-0 in this mid matchup. Perkz still up a little bit of CS, but when your Yasuo is in such a tough matchup and he has 2 kills in the first 6 minutes of the game, Berserker Greaves, Vamp Scepter, he is sitting nice and dandy as we see Labrov and Selfmade now teaming up towards the top side.
I like to see it. We got to see the jungle sports energy from Elyoya and Kaiser on the first kill. Now see if Labrov and Selfmade can match on the top side. Armut with the double dash available, but getting away from these champions feels like it's next to impossible. Will not have the dice after the slice. Flash out to safety is clean. Going to force a few sums out from the side of Vitality. Ulti coming in as well, but not nearly enough to survive. Vitality will find the kill in the end as Perkz burning down in the mid lane, but will not drop, or will he?
Oh, close. Unforgiven almost got his first kill of the LEC as well, but Perkz just about lives. And look at the wave he's losing in mid. Reeker is just pounding it on that tower. He might get 2 plates. Perkz just lost around 2.5 waves there. So Perkz is really struggling in this lane now. His support jungle haven't really teamed up enough to be able to help him. And granted, they don't have as easy setup as a Diana, Yasuo, Nautilus, right? It's very point and click, very easy to execute. Whereas Akshan, Viego, it's a lot harder to lock down a Yasuo who now is so strong with tier 2 boots. Berserker Greaves has a lot more mobility, and here Armut's just trying to crash this top wave, and Labrov and Selfmade give him a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, like the replay overall. Quick dash out, going to flash right as the combo comes through. It's clean. He's going to force out Alphari's flash as well as the ultimate to finish it. So trying to get as much as he can out of the enemy team, but Vitality obviously skilled enough players not to let him get away. That said, Caedrel, I think talking about the mid lane is important because when we saw Reeker domestically in the Prime League, and especially last year, we saw him roaming a lot, we saw him supporting other players, and I was curious to see as a rookie how that was going to work, but MAD Lions trying something different with him, focusing their resources into Reeker, letting him be the one who to get all this attention from Elyoya and Kaiser, and it's working out wonderfully.
Yeah, you're completely right. A lot of TF, a lot of Sylas, a lot of Ryze, a lot of roaming around, but great to see the confidence coming out from Reeker, especially if it was his idea to just say, well, yeah, if we get Renekton Diana here, we can slam Yasuo. I'm absolutely confident to just go ahead with it. Even if the coach says, what do you think about Yasuo here? And Reeker's, yeah, give it to me. I love the confidence of the pick just coming out. And as we were just discussing that, MAD Lions picked up a Herald now, so this early game is starting to snowball in their favor, around a 1,000 gold lead. But none of the lanes have really been punished too hard other than top. And Reeker, with this constant mid-push, I expect the Herald to be dropped in his lane soon to further snowball that Yasuo.
It's going to be very big. Get that Yasuo out to side lane with an item advantage. It's going to be tough for anyone to match up against him. Perkz also. The wind wall going to be a big pain for him as we move later in the game, but have to see what the mid to late game Akshan can do, even in a deficit. Obviously, a lot of utility there on the revive passive if you can find it in the optimal situation, but We're still waiting, I think, right now, Caedrel. It's mostly been about the landing phase. Herald should break us out of that point in the game, and maybe we see more of MAD Lions' skirmishing power come online. But that said, they are up against a Kennen, so MAD Lions' execution still has to be flawless, or they could find it turning against them very quickly.
Yeah, we know Kennen flanks, especially if it's a Hextech map, right? It's a Cloud Drake next. If it's Hextech Soul, there's Hextech portals around the map, so Alphari can find flanks. MAD Lions need to be careful about that, but Kaiser's now roaming up towards the top side, gonna spot out Selfmade. They're trying to help Armut out a little bit here to punish this Kennen with no flash, who Alphari might be disrespecting a bit here. Kaiser flash ult.
Kaiser, flash forward with the ult, should guarantee the Q-land going in, slows him down as well. That's the ulti coming out, followed with the empowered stun. In goes the Diana. It's a clean play from MAD Lions.
Alphari thought he was safe there. Selfmade spotted Kaiser out way before, and Alphari kept hitting the wave as Selfmade's looking for Armut here.
A little bit of damage ticking back on Armut. The ulti has now fallen away. He's got enough for one empowered ability. Vitality can't afford to overstep here, but maybe we're hoping to find a quick reset onto Selfmade. In the meantime, Reeker going to grab a solo tower plate in the mid. That 4th and 5th going to be pretty tough to take, but quick 160 gold here for the Yasuo, only getting further and further ahead as he gets closer and closer to the shield bow.
Yeah, this early game is fantastic for MAD Lions. Now top lane is stabilized to the point where it's kind of even Stevens in top. Both no flash, both 0-1, 1 assist apiece, and Labrov didn't have flash. The gap closed there to look for the kill in top. Perkz did get a lot of damage down. He dropped his ignite, but there was no real follow-up. So now Elyoya's mid. He's going to drop the Herald. Mid-tier 1's going to fall. And the biggest question you have to put to MAD Lions is, great, your early game has been fantastic so far, but how can you transition this lead that Reeker has to side lanes, to bot, to top? Now that mid tower's down, he can push into tier 2, and if his jungle support's around, they can move as a 3-man unit to anywhere on the map.
And it's an excellent question too, because we saw MAD Lions last season struggle a lot in these mid games, 20 to 25 minute mark. Now we're still pretty far away from that, and it's still a pretty large lead, 2K at 11 minutes, but see what they can do with it. Unforgiven left alone on the bottom side for most of this game makes perfect sense when he is the Karthus. For Vitality, it's a struggle, because Carzzy is not going to be able to impact these fights nearly as easily, and Unforgiven doing a solid job for now, at least keep up and farm. So that bot lane, even though we expect it to be potentially a bigger catalyst for action, it seems like both supports have handshook on just leaving the lane, leaving the AD carries to farm up.
Yeah, and you can just see the experience coming out of Kaiser and Elyoya, always pairing up, always on the same side of the map together, always making plays together. Fantastic start to the game from them. Just showing the level of performance we saw kind of in 2021 throughout the regular split, throughout playoffs in general. The jungle support always the most consistent factor and the strongest factor of MAD Lions.
Yeah, and while it is only a single game, it does build a lot of hope for the MAD Lions roster that they are able to come out swinging in the early game, especially with some new picks. That said, Vitality, not afraid to fight, not afraid to contest. Carzzy here on the top side, Perkz in the area, but they have to be careful. Again, the wombo combo potential from the side of MAD Lions makes it very easy for them to just start a fight. Vitality going to give them that respect and back away.
Yeah, the three biggest issues Vitality have is MAD Lions' engage is incredibly quick. The burst that they have nothing to really stop it. And the fourth thing is, the last thing is, sorry, is even if Karthus isn't there, it doesn't matter. The Yasuo Diana combo can come in, they can get all their burst down, you can flash away, but then you've got a Karthus ult on top of you. So they have enough damage to basically one-shot everyone until Vitality can start to build these stopwatches. So I'm guessing they'll avoid fights for now, get their first item, build towards the second or third, get a stopwatch, and then they should be able to hold back this amount of burst damage that MAD Lions have, because right now it's incredibly strong and it's spiking.
Yep. Reeker has to be careful here. Selfmade can't step forward alongside Perkz. Windwall there to block the stun. They now want to turn and burn. Lead forward from Elyoya, and again another combo. Perkz just gets instantly deleted. The Akshan! Two squishy and a double for Elyoya.
My lord, the damage that comes out of this combo. Elyoya, so much patience, playing it to perfection. Got both of their flashes and then our flash instantly to get the engage. Reeker drops the ult, and that was a 2v2. They're both still full HP. They can still dive top. They still have Karthus ultimate. They have so many tools to make this happen.
Walking away, Alphari still has his ultimate, only level 10. He has to hold on for as long as possible, throwing the ult down before he gets CC'd, but it's just not enough. Alphari not strong enough to stop the dive from happening. MAD Lions flawlessly transitioning their advantage mid into the top lane, into the back pocket of Elyoya and Armut as they break those plates. It is a masterclass early game from MAD Lions.
Yeah, 5 plates mid, they got a couple top. Unforgiven's been hitting this bot tower meanwhile. I think he got a plate for himself as well, but let's look at Elyoya again. Selfmade look for the stun on Reeker. He just drops the wind wall. Very good reaction time. Very easy to do. Elyoya E's, then Proto Belts. Get Selfmade and Perkz' flash with a second E, and then R flashes both of their flashes to get Reeker's engage. Absolutely flawless.
And Caedrel again. I don't want to go too far. I think we've praised MAD Lions draft a lot, but I think the genius of it again is the simplicity and execution. How good does it have to feel as a rookie player in your first week that all you got to do is the Yasuo with this kind of lead is push R when the Diana pushes R, and people are going to drop. It's simple, it's straightforward, and it's working so well for MAD.
And that's it, right? It's simple, straightforward, and it's working. That's the important part. The confidence that Reeker must have now, Unforgiven must have, the lead that they have. Playing from ahead should feel very comfortable in how they play the map. As Reeker is still in mid, I'm expecting them to start to transition towards the bot side now, or play for the Herald. They basically have the whole map unlocked. It's just a case of finding the objectives themselves.
Yep, certainly. It is going to be a little bit harder to find that combo, at least on Carzzy, as he does pick up the Gale Force, a shield bow for Perkz to make sure he can survive a little bit longer, but checking in, Armut finally going to break down that top lane tower. Bot lane, the last one left standing in the face of MAD Lions. But Vitality, a team full of veteran players. If anyone's going to know how to get themselves out of this kind of deficit, you'd have to expect it would be them. The Selfmade's going to push into the bottom side with Labrov. Unforgiven has to be careful here. Obviously not too afraid to die as the Karthus, but doesn't want to just get caught out for nothing.
Yeah, I have to say, good respect from both Armut and Unforgiven. When they were playing down towards the bot side or around mid, Armut was forced to back off top tower. He didn't die, he didn't try to outplay any kind of dive or try to overcomplicate things. He just gave up a few plates while MAD Lions made a play on the opposite side. Unforgiven doing the exact same thing. Sometimes players think they can look for outplays or they can hold or clear the wave to buy time to give their team tempo on the other side of the map. But that's not the case. MAD Lions just showing respect, and maybe they want to be a bit more aggressive here. Kaiser.
Potential turn for Vitality. Kaiser tanking up the tower. It's going to be a big deal, but that's going to be the massive combo. Here comes the Karthus ultimate, but Selfmade in the midst of everybody. It's not enough. Alphari going in as well. It's an absolute bloodbath. Yasuo still standing. That's a perfect tornado. He goes in. He's trying to heal. Not nearly enough survivability to get through that one. It's a bloodbath. It's a back and forth. 8-4 now. The total score and kills. Unforgiven and Elyoya are here, but hard for them to find any more gas in the tank to keep pushing. Messy exchange on the top side, but Vitality call it out well.
Yeah, MAD Lions biting off a little bit more than they can chew there. Kaiser thought they could dive onto Perkz, but he didn't expect all of Vitality to be there. Of course, 4-man strong. Alphari comes in with the TP to clean up, and as much as he engaged, looked good from the start. The Karthus ult was coming in. Selfmade got a reset onto Kaiser to buy time, and Carzzy was practically untouched during this whole combo, so he was free hitting. Alphari comes in with the TP. They're all stacked up. MAD Lions 3-man. Big ultimate from Alphari. Chases down Reeker, gets the shutdown, and here Elyoya says, well, I could commit here and probably kill Labrov, but he's probably sitting on a big shutdown, 300 gold. He does not want to give that over to someone like Carzzy.
And while it is still about a 4,000 gold lead, good look from Vitality to find that exchange. Labrov, full use of the ultimate as well as the Aftershock to survive as long as possible to disrupt that. And of course, Alphari, we're getting used to this Kennen build. Full AP, not interested in Azanias, just wants to do as much damage as humanly possible. And it does mean that mistakes like that from MAD Lions are going to get punished more and more heavily as we move later into the game. Mortal Shield Bow, it's solid tankiness for Yasuo, but not enough to stop a full AP.
Kaiser? Well, have to be careful here.
Catching out. Perkz invisible in the darkness. Flash forward. Kaiser going to try to spider, not hook his way out, or turn. For now, just clearing vision. Setup on the Drake is there. Second Drake of the game for the MAD Lions. An Infernal Rift. And now one Drake closer to the Infernal Soul.
Yeah, very straightforward objectives for MAD Lions. Dragon into bot tier 1, but they're not covering Armut here. They could have made a bit of a mistake here, but they have Herald for mid tier 2. I think a lot of members of Vitality showed there. Elyoya might look to drop it, but he is going to back off and go to his Raptors. So MAD Lions have so many options on the map. Reeker's going to go ahead and catch top wave. Next objective should be bot tier 1, and Kaiser's just trying to spot out all of Vitality so they can dissect the map.
Kaiser has to be careful here. Already had to flash out, now locked up again. Here comes the Jhin. Ultimate 1, 2, and 3. Going to finish that one. Selfmade takes a quick reset. A good pick from Vitality. Kaiser feeling a little bit too confident. Yes, they have the gold lead, but when Vitality are 4 men strong in the area, can't be taking risks like that.
Yeah, that's the third time Kaiser's got a call out. The first one was on top, of course, going for the dive. Second one in their jungle, and now third one in their jungle once again. Lost his life 2 out of 3 times. Needs to be careful. Trying to get deep vision alone, waves unpushed, will of course get collapsed on. Carzzy has the W from long range, and now Selfmade might fancy something bot. Elyoya's here to match, but Labrov and Carzzy are coming down too. No flash.
Can be a 4v2. Armut going to try to double dash through. He has made it under the tower. Should be all right. Elyoya might now be the one in trouble, except for Carzzy's taking so much damage. That's the power of the Diana. That's going to be an instant kill. Labrov now knows that he has picked the wrong fight, going deep under that tower, still doing so much damage. Elyoya absolutely unafraid, getting 2. Alphari running for his life now. Labrov just trying to survive. They're going to pick up the cow. Alphari will walk away. It's a bloodbath in favor of MAD Lions.
5-0-5 for Elyoya out of 11 kills. This is an absolute masterclass in Game 1 of the LEC 2022. Just playing it to perfection every single time where he needs to be. He plays the fights to perfection as well. It's just such a clean game from Elyoya. Unforgiven's going to get a mid tier 2. Herald's still alive. Maybe they can force a bot tier 2. Alphari's trying to fight back.
Sorry, stepping in, good damage, but he's just so squishy. Elyoya going golden, that's gonna be the ulti coming in from a Kennen. There's no zone used to stop that one. Perkz now gonna be in trouble as well. In goes Kaiser, out goes Perkz with a clean flash. Unforgiven in the area, but with Elyoya low, expect MAD Lions to back off. Maybe try and set a trap here in the bush, but it is just gonna be the synced recall.
Wow, these fights are non-stop, and yes, Vitality have 4 members down towards the bot side, and this Armut looks like a pretty simple kill, right? Labrov can tank the tower with ultimate, they don't need a wave, but Carzzy gets caught out. Elyoya, very good patience to wait for Carzzy to try to collapse, singles him out. Now Labrov's all of a sudden tanking the tower, and he says, hang on a second, the Diana just one-shot made a carry, and now he can 1v2 you in the backline. Elyoya just dismantles Vitality, the super team that's coming into week 1, day 1. It's just, they're losing all across the map against this MAD Lions roster with 2 brand new players.
And I love the confidence that we're seeing from Unforgiven and Reeker. Yes, Unforgiven's job has mostly been pushing R, but held his own in the laning phase, that's what mattered. And Reeker, of course, the center of attention here in the early game, even if Elyoya is the man with the all-star stat line, 5-0-6. That said, Caedrel, I don't want to make it all about draft. I know that's the simplest analysis of all time, but there's a reason we don't see Renekton Diana allowed. You know, like, I think we're seeing those reasons now because these champions are just generally having access to an AP jungler feels so incredibly oppressive, especially when it's this Diana.
There's not many top laners that give setup for AP champions in jungle. Other than kind of Renekton and Set, the rest of them like Camille and Jace and Fiora don't really have the CC and setup for the junglers like Diana and Nidalee and Echo. Renekton is basically the only one right now, basically blind pickable, that does that job, and it's always useful in early to mid game. That's why Diana can be picked with Renekton. And once you have both of those, well, Diana wants to be the only AP damage on the top side, so now you've unlocked Yasuo. So now you have such a simple wombo combo, and Labrov just flashed over a wall while MAD Lions is on Nash. And now
they're trying to find it. Armut gonna be in trouble, but they're just gonna give up Nash for this one. Curtain call, we've seen the ult steal before, but Kaiser watched that VoD too, not gonna let it happen. Now suddenly in the mid lane, it looks like Vitality just have to run for their lives. Armut can go for the dash forward, quick stun onto Labrov. Labrov is gonna get hooked. Max range there on that one. They should be able to pick up the kill onto Labrov. The rest of Vitality will escape, but right now Vitality in tempo hell, because that's a Baron buffed up MAD Lions, and they got a wave ready on the bottom side.
Yeah, look where Perkz is. He's going to have to base. This question mark ping's coming out. Reeker knows he's around, but because of the camouflage, because of the stealth, Perkz should be able to find his way out of there. Vitality just look all over the place. They're trying to contest mid-wave. MAD Lions on Nash. Carzzy's checking Nash with ult. Labrov is flashing over a wall, even though his Hex flashes up soon. They try to go on Armut. Now they get turned on. They die. They're going to lose their bot tier 2. Everything's falling apart.
And once this inhibitor line gets broken, it's going to be very hard for Vitality to stay in this game. Now, without a traditional AD carry, there is some argument that MAD Lions do not have the best siege, but if they're able to get Baron buffs like this for free, it's just not going to matter too much. They throw a wind wall up here in a moment if they need to, and Reeker and Armut can step forward alongside the rest of MAD. Vitality, if they want to pick a fight, probably have to pick it now, but instead they're going to back away, leaving open this inhibitor. 5 members now, maybe they can contest. Alphari waiting on that ult cooldown, just about a second away.
Yeah, mid-wave will get cleared out by Selfmade, so that means the end of that for MAD Lions. Bot inhib and back away, they're going to get a dragon as well, so they're going to be sitting on Infernal Soul Point. That dragon's probably spawning around 28 minutes time, so MAD Lions, so many different ways to win the game. They can be explosive towards the top side, force a top tier 2, maybe try to dive if Vitality try to defend. They can also play it slow, use this Baron to stall the game out, keep deep vision in their jungle and play for the next dragon. So all the cards are in MAD Lions' hand.
Yep. And just again, to go back to expectations for this game, Vitality, definitely the expected favorites. Predicted by the desk as the expected favorites. But despite that, didn't really get to see complete Alphari lane dominance. While he did build that individual lead early on with a counter pick and a solid matchup, ultimately it was Elyoya who just did not let any of those laners hold on to a solid lane advantage alongside Kaiser. And frankly, I love to see it. The team play from MAD Lions for a roster that has played so little time together is fantastic.
Yeah, they dissected them so well from the early game. It's almost like dominoes for Vitality. You know, Perkz and Alphari are these strong lanes that are keeping the push, but once Perkz loses his push and he falls and Reeker and Elyoya get a small lead, now Alphari's the one to suffer, and top slowly falls. And now both solo lanes are suffering and they have Herald. They can start to fight dragons, and bot lane starts to fall as Kaiser looks for Selfmade.
Flash forward, Selfmade unstoppable, and that ultimate is going to be able to make it out to safety. That means at least the tier 2 will drop. Vitality going to have to try to pick the optimum space to look for a fight. No immediate ulti for the reset from Selfmade, though, is going to make the fight much harder. Again, kind of looking at that Kennen flash just around the corner for Alphari, maybe 20-30 seconds out alongside the Proto Belt Shadow Flame. He's going to do a lot of damage.
Drakos, this is 7 towers to 0. Vitality haven't even gotten a single tower this game whatsoever as MAD Lions keep up the push in the top side. Bot inhib is down, super minions on the bot side, forcing this top tier 3.
feels like it might just be a MAD Lions victory lap. Labrov stepping forward, but I don't know if he has enough gas in the tank to find any of these kills. Locked up, Selfmade immediately onto the backside, but Reeker now leaping out. Doesn't have a third Q quite yet. Carzzy gonna throw down some damage, but Kaiser more than happy to body block, and sadly, it just feels like Vitality are fighting for scraps. You're completely right, Caedrel. This is a Wampa Stomp, my friend. This is certainly not...
Wampa Stomp.
Yeah, this is not really what we were expecting. And credit to MAD, credit to Mac, especially, you know, putting faith in Reeker, and he was a player a lot of guys liked, but Unforgiven, also a huge unknown. Not a player with a lot of success in the history, but doing well in the game so far and proving us wrong that jungle support top more than enough to set up 2 new players for success.
Yeah, they're the backbone of the team, right? They're the ones who get you the initial lead, and I mean, Elyoya and Kaiser especially did so amazingly well to do so. I think the most important thing about this game for MAD Lions is if they do win it, which we expect them to do, going forwards into the next day of the Super Week, into the 3rd day, into next week even, MAD Lions have shown they can play Karthus bot, they can play AD mids, they can play Diana, Renekton. You have to take away Renekton now. You have to be very conscious of the fact that they can play Karthus bot, Ziggs bot, maybe even mages in general bot. Reeker won't kind of default to TF and Sylas perhaps. He has way more champions up his sleeve. I think the versatility is very important and a bit of a statement here for MAD Lions.
I think it's massive, especially when you look at the opposition again, playing against Carzzy. He and Kaiser, the Senna Wukong innovators. Now we've got a Karthus Nautilus, admittedly a bit more tame in terms of innovation, but the Karthus certainly something new. Going down against his former teammate, playing yet another innovative bot lane. Might be a bit of a bruise to the ego. Carzzy, definitely a man who can always just laugh it off and go on to the next one, but strong start from MAD, and certainly feels like a big game for Unforgiven and Reeker.
Yeah, 1 minute 40 seconds on the Dragon. That'll be MAD Lions' Infernal Soul, and this is exactly what we just talked about, right? Play it slow and steady. Keep deep vision in their jungle. You don't have to overforce a tier 3. They tried their hand at it, they got pushed back. Fair enough. We'll wait it out. Wait for Baron to spawn, wait for Dragon to spawn, and then you have to come into us. And when you have to come into us, when we're playing Diana, Yasuo, Karthus, and we're this fed, good luck, have fun, GL, HF, Yee Weepy. I think Vitality are really going to be able to really going to struggle to get vision here when these objectives start to spawn.
Definitely going to be difficult. You saw a lot of members setting up, maybe fishing for a pick onto Armut, but Armut's so tanky at this point with the stopwatch as well. Very hard to lock him down. Selfmade committing a little bit of damage here. You can see the power overall of the Divine Sunder and some of these small trades, but at this point in the game, Reeker on the way in. Tornado prepped, is going to get thrown out, but won't connect. And Vitality on life support in their first game here, just holding on, maybe hoping for some kind of miracle steal or miracle pick, as Perkz just going to send out the Avenger Ring and walk away.
Yeah, Armut has TP worst case. They could start Baron on spawn, but they don't really have to. They can do whatever they want. 40 seconds on Dragon. Bot push will always stay there because of the inhib being down. Just base, pick up items, keep these lanes pushed out, and pick and choose what you want to do. Vitality could start up Nash, but Vitality stealing it could give them way back into the game. Of course, there's objective bounties in the game now. The problem is Vitality haven't gotten a single objective yet because they can't push out any lanes. A Baron steal would be massive for them. A big chunk of gold extra. So they're setting up around it, but MAD Lions are just saying, well, we're going to go mid then. If you guys want to all go into our top side jungle and find some vision on Baron, we'll just end the game. That's going to be a mid tier 3.
Well, walking away. Vitality, they have to get weird with it, but sadly for them, MAD Lions not going to take any kind of bait, not going to take any kind of risk. Just play it out slow, controlled, steady. 28 minutes in, and it feels like we are just watching the very slow victory lap. Perkz going to grab what gold he can on the side lane. Witsend going to help him survive some of the initial bursts, but against a Renekton and a Diana, you've got Renekton rather than a Yasuo, you've got pretty good split damage, so difficult to survive no matter who you are. And those stopwatches that you talked about earlier, Caedrel,
The tower? They get a tower? No, they got 1 tower, Drakos. They got an objective bounty. They take those. A 1 tower? Hey.
Look, all I'm saying is if you're a Vitality apologist right now, you're going, they're playing for objective bounties. That's maybe the best.
And they got 1. We'll see if they can get the objective bounty on the Baron, because that's been started up. Labrov will probably pop a ward over to spot it out. Selfmade's around. Can he steal it though?
Can he steal it? Selfmade going in? No! Elyoya gonna lock that one down. Selfmade, that was the last chance, and it feels like it's gone now. TP's coming in the mid lane. MAD Lions going for the throat on this one. Perkz, Carzzy waiting in the darkness, but Armut just buying so much time, buying so much space. Now stepping forward, Perkz getting cut down. Reeker taking down Labrov, and here comes the space laser, baby. Not enough to finish the job, but Perkz Has to be careful on this one. Alphari also in the area. Level 16 Kennen, ult
Kaiser's
up
gonna flash.
and available. But it just doesn't matter because Armut's going to flash first, and in goes the hook from Kaiser. It goes just a little bit wide. You called it, but you cursed him, Caedrel. And MAD Lions coming out swinging in this first game. It was a masterclass of an early game. Excellent play from Kaiser and Elyoya to set up the rookies on their team for success. And Alphari maybe wants to turn it. Maybe he can. Unforgiven still standing. Reeker, the rest of the team now backing up. Vitality will not go quietly, and for now they're going to hold on just a little bit longer. What else can they get from this one? Infernal Soul already gone, Baron already gone. It feels like they've just bought themselves a few minutes.
Yeah, they have a wave, 40 seconds on MAD Lions. Maybe they can get a mid-tier one, some kind of objective bounty to get them back into this game. Carzzy steals the red buff from Reeker. I don't know if he had even vision on that red buff. He just W'd it and managed to pick it up. A couple of kills go into Carzzy's pocket, a little bit of shutdowns, and Selfmade almost gets this Baron.
So incredibly close, but ooh. Patience from Elyoya, good smite in the end, and you get a Baron, you got a TP up, pretty easy to wipe the fight, but you can see here, Akshan, we know how powerful he can be in solo queue, but when you fall behind, it is so hard to catch back up, as you can see Armut just shredding through that health bar.
Ult almost takes him down, the space laser as you called it. MAD probably could have just stayed together as 5 here and gone to the end. Armut after this pick, but yeah, Kaiser flashed forward, then he was stuck, and then it's of course the int train. Choo choo, Kaiser's the conductor, everyone tries to help him out. They tried to end Armut's 1 HP, and then in comes Alphari with the massive ult. Even though he gets exhausted, everyone gets one shot. Carzzy manages to get the kill onto Unforgiven. 800 gold shut down, and MAD can't end just yet. Still an incredibly big lead for them. Not only the gold, but Infernal Soul. 2 inhibs down for Vitality. The last one standing is in top lane.
And credit to Alphari for punishing there. Very, very strong at this point in the game. Does not pay to disrespect a Kennen like that. And Kaiser and the rest of MAD Lions, we'll have to see, is this going to be the victory train or the int train as they push into Vitality's base. Of course, they have such a massive lead at this point in the game that ultimately throwing away a few kills, a few shutdowns like that won't cost them too much. But as we always have to say in the casting business, the later we go, the less the gold difference means. We're not there yet. We're probably 10 minutes away from that, but champions on the side of Vitality are getting stronger. Execution will still be the name of the game.
Yeah, Alphari just trying to find some kind of flank, but Elyoya is just making sure these waves are escorted in. He will get stunned up here. How much damage can he do before he dies?
Locked up, good damage. Alphari, Elyoya goes gold, and Selfmade whiffs on the ultimate. That's going to be big. Now the Nautilus ultimate coming in as well. He just wants to finish the kill so we can get the reset, but it will not happen. Unforgiven taking him down. Perkz off to the side, trying to buy as much space as possible, but Reeker just deletes him, and now again the ulti comes down. Carzzy already half health. Armut now stepping forward. It's an absolute slaughter in the base. Again, MAD Lions coming out swinging in their first game. Vitality do not know what hit them, but pretty confident that the Diana Yasuo might not be played again.
8-1 and 10 for Elyoya on Diana. Unbelievably clean game from him. Kaiser, a couple little hiccups here and there, trying to get vision deep in enemy jungle, getting caught out. But other than that, from start to finish, looked pretty in favor of MAD Lions all game long. Vitality found a few windows where MAD Lions were diving top tier 2, maybe a little bit aggressively. Only the second one after that was the base dive. But from start to finish, it was just MAD Lions.
Yeah, and ultimately, just a single best of 1, but very clear the MAD Lions know what to do with a lot of those very powerful picks, like the Diana, like the Renekton if you let them through. Imagine it as we head into day 2s that some pick ban strategies may change, may adjust. Overall, excellent start for the MAD Lions. We weren't really sure where to put them on the tier list. They can be up at the top. We put them near the top, but they could also have been falling down very quickly depending on how the rookies meshed. But right now they're meshing well. And right now all you need to do is head on over to Twitter and vote. Elyoya, Reeker, and Kaiser are your Kia players of the game. I think we know. I was gonna say I think we know the answer.
Like Reeker, good debut. Very well played, good follow-up, Unforgiven, fantastic. Love the R pressing, big fan. But Elyoya, my man in the jungle, my man's popping off.
He's clean. Kaiser connected a few too many trains. Elyoya overall, just solid across the board. Of course, coming up next, we are going to hear from Reeker and learn more about Rogue's new jungler Malrang, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this.
They are out there, waiting to be discovered. Some of them are big, and some of them are small. But that's the thing with ideas. They don't just come to you. To find them, you have to move. Kia, movement that inspires.
A lion!
Oh yes, the king of the jungle. Time for a quick Red Bull?
Red Bull? But you still won't be quicker than the lion!
I don't have to be quicker than the lion, just quicker than you.
Red Bull gives you wings.
And welcome back to the LEC after the first game of the season. MAD Lions take down Vitality in this first game, and I have Reeker with me to talk about this victory. Thank you so much for joining me, Reeker. You managed to flex on Yasuo, beating Perkz, beating also the Vitality super team. How was that for a first game?
I feel like I'm not that happy overall because I was kind of first timing this matchup. Like it was the first time playing Yasuo Akshan, and I kind of got fisted level 1 to 2. But I guess it's how it's supposed to go. But my jungle and support helped me out a lot. And I mean, we just had the deadly combo with pressing the buttons R, right? Nautilus R, Karthus R, Yasuo Diana. It was all kind of easy to execute. Mm-hmm. I think we did kind of well on that department though. But I mean, I'm not happy, but I'm more relieved than happy that this first game is over, probably.
Relieved? How so?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that I was a bit nervous before the first game. Okay. Like, Of course, it's the Vitality Super Team. I'm debuting in LEC. It's my very first game. But when it comes to official games, like you can just fully trust on, like especially Elyoya to call the shots that you need. You know, like it's so easy for a rookie to play with him, I think.
Well, you can relax, you can chill. You did really well in this Yasuo Diana matchup, also with Elyoya. You were mentioning him actually, and we know how strong of a leader he was for the team. How has it been working with him?
I mean, working with him is kind of interesting because in the past I used to be on Big for a year, and in Big I used to always play with the rookies, and they didn't have that big of opinions, so they were usually just following me. But in this case, Elyoya is a guy that has a really strong opinion about the game, you know? And there's often times where there's conflicts, but there's also times where he's just saying stuff that makes absolute sense, and he's like really strict to follow them inside of the game, which is why he's such a good leader.
It's interesting to see that you have a good synergy already, even though that you haven't been playing together for a long time. But Reeker, talking about you, you were one of the biggest prospects for the LEC this year, given your year in the Prime League and what we saw from you in the EU Masters. Tell me about being finally in the LEC, working with MAD Lions. How has it been going so far?
I mean, working with MAD Lions is like really, really nice. I really love the staff and I love everyone around. Like, it's very easy. I don't think there's an easier welcome to have. Compared to ERL, I must say every day feels a bit more like a working day than a hobby, you know? Like in ERL, you can play from home, you can take things a bit more lightly, but in LEC, like we in MAD Lions, we live in a different area from where we play. So we basically have to get up at a certain time to be at the office at a certain time, and scrims plus review take much, much longer than in ERL. So our day basically starts at like 12. We have to be at the office at 12, and we are home at like 8 p.m., which is kind of long, like a lot longer, yeah.
Well, I hope you're adjusting to the schedule, because this is the big stage now, Reeker. For now, that's all for us. Thank you so much for the interview. Welcome to the LEC, and congrats on this amazing debut. And for more on the opening day of the LEC, let's send it back over to Quickshot.